What up, what up, what up? It's Mr. T at Mr. T Do Numbers. I'm back at you one more time, teaching you this math, man. I gotta get it to you. All right. So today I'm gonna give you a quick little easy lesson on estimating, but with decimals. Okay. Now it's some things I want you to know. Right. A lot of kids are confused about estimating. Right, Mr. T, what does estimating mean? Right. There's some teachers that, in my opinion, are explaining it to them in a confusing way, right? So in this example, two main things I want you to see. I want you to see that you can use rounding to estimate, all right? So I taught you videos on rounding, all right? You can go back and look at that old video in case you don't remember how to round. But I want you to know that you can use rounding to estimate. All right. And I also want you to know my second asterisk. Estimating is using numbers close to the real number that are more comfortable to deal with. So in my class, I say you got two C's when it comes to estimating. The number that you use instead of the real number got to be close to the real number, but it has to be more comfortable for you to use. Which means if estimating does not create an easier problem for you than the real numbers, you didn't do it right. Because you were supposed to estimate to find numbers that's close to it but more comfortable. All right? So let me give you a quick example and then we can get into these steps. Say Mr. Trahan got to go to the gas station, right? I ain't got no gas. So if gas is $1.89, and let's say I have a 20-gallon tank for my car, right? And I want to know about how much money am I going to pay at the gas station, right? So you say, all right, Mr. T, $1.89, that's about $2. Boom. I've rounded that decimal to a whole number, or I've rounded to a number that's close to it. But if you're telling yourself the truth, $2 is way easier to work with than $1.89 when it comes to math. So that's what I'm saying. You can use rounding to estimate. I'm going to go ahead and round that $1.89 up to $2, bro. Then I'm going to say, all right, each gallon is about $2. And if I got a 20-gallon tank for my car, then that's $2 a gallon times 20 gallons. So I'm going to spend about $40 at the gas station on gas. All right. Now, that's what I'm showing you. Estimating is picking numbers close to the real number, but you're more comfortable with. All right. So step one in this is to round the decimals that you're dealing with to the nearest whole. All right, round it to the ones place. Step two, use the rounded numbers to solve the problem. All right. Now, what I'll say is, in my class, I had a problem with a Rolls-Royce SUV. All right. And in the Rolls-Royce SUV, it said Mr. Trahan wants to rent this SUV for the weekend. I think it said for my birthday weekend, right? So the problem had me renting a Rolls-Royce SUV on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Friday, I drove a certain amount of miles, right? On Friday, I believe I drove the car 39 2/10 miles. All right. On Saturday, I drove the car 21 9/10 miles. And on Sunday, the problem with the Rolls Royce said that I drove 36 5/10 miles. Right? And the question was on my problem, About how many miles did Mr. Traham drive the Rolls Royce SUV for the weekend? All right. So, step one is round the decimals to the nearest whole, which means I'm not going to use these actual numbers. I'm going to find a number that's close to it, but easier to deal with, more comfortable. All right. So if I'm rounding to the nearest whole, that means I'm rounding to the ones place, which means I'm rounding to the spot right in front of the decimal point. That means I'm around this 9. What that means also is that the 2 behind it is going to give the 9 instructions. All right. Since the 2 behind it falls in 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going to tell the 9 to stay the same. All right. If you don't remember how to round, go back and look at my video on rounding decimals and you'll understand what I'm saying. The 2 behind it is going to tell the 9 to stay the same, and the 3 in front of it is going to stay the same as well. So basically, 39 2/10 is going to round to just 39. Now, for Saturday, I'm going to round the 1 in the ones place, and the 9 in the tenths place is going to instruct it. Because there's a 9 there, the rule of rounding says 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It makes the other number go up. So this 9 is basically going to instruct this 1 to go up. And the 2 in front of it is going to stay the same. So this is going to be about 22 miles. And Sunday, I'm going to round the 6 in that number. And the 5 is going to give it instructions. Because this is a 5, it's going to instruct that 6 to go up to 7, and the 3 is going to stay the same. So that's going to be about 37 miles, right? Now, if you stop right here and say, do I have close and do I have comfortable? 39 2/10 is close to 39. It's only 2/10 off. 21 9/10 is close to 22. It's only 1/10 away. 36 5/10 is only 5/10 away from 37. So you have close. Now, which one are you more comfortable dealing with? I would much rather add up these whole numbers than to add up these decimals. It's a lot easier. So step 2, I'm going to use the rounded numbers to solve the problem. Because this is what I drove Friday, this is what I drove Saturday, and this is what I drove Sunday. The question says about how many miles did I drive the whole weekend? Which means I have to add up the days of the weekend that I drove the Rolls Royce SUV. 9 plus 2 is 11. 11 plus 7 is 18. So there's 8 in the ones place, and I carried a 1 in the tens place. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. Which means Mr. Traham drove that Rolls Royce truck about 98 miles for the weekend. All right? Now, I want you to remember words like about or approximately these words are indicators that you should be estimating, right? Do not solve the problem with the real numbers and then turn around and try to figure out which answer choice A, B, C, or D is closest to the real answer, because you are defeating the whole purpose of estimating. That's just like me being at the gas station and doing 1.89 times 20. Okay. And then figuring out the real amount I'm gonna pay at the gas station, and then say, oh, I'm about to pay for it about $40. You defeated the whole purpose. You're supposed to round first, then take an estimated about what you're going to spend. That should make your life easier. Right? Estimating should make your life easier, not harder. All right? This is Mr. T with an estimating with decimals lesson. Peace.